everybody, it's Chrissy from Chrissy's Beautiful Life. So I know I've shown you this image already, but I'm just on my computer, which is why you can see my light and all that, like my light, that's the light right behind me in my room. So I apologize about that, but I want to show you my plan here. So this is the image I'm working with. I want to take on this blue, this yellow, the gray, teal cobblestone, and that green. I really see color blocks in that, so I'm going to work with that to create my layout. So that's kind of where my thoughts are going. So let me get you put onto my layout so you can actually see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so I've prepped my page with gesso already. And like I said, my goal here is, like the photo, there was a block of yellow, the blue, which was the sky, the yellow is the light streaming from the patio, and the gray tones, that is the cobblestone that people are walking on, and then there's a tree right here. So that's kind of my idea. I want to do color blocking, and that's where I'm getting my inspiration from. So my goal is the bottom, I'm going to use some foiled again, and this is a Dazzler. For the yellow, I'm going to use my Lemon Drop Dazzlers and my Mandarin Mai Tai colorings. For the blue sky, I'm using 3 different colors because I want different shades. So I'm going to use the Deep Blue Sea Vibes, Well Blue Me Down colorings, and the Heidi Ho Blue. So that's going to be there. And then for the green, I'm going to use Osai King See, just a little bit of it. This is the colorings, and the Bamboo Leaf Spurts. So I'm using a bunch of Shimmers products, and I'm going to create this really fun, just blocked area. I haven't picked a photo yet. I don't even know if this is going to work, but I'm just thinking that it'd be really fun to work with that. And I also have this really fun stencil I got on clearance, and I'm going to use this at the bottom to be kind of the cobblestone look to it. So I got it for $4. Can't go wrong with that. So I'm really excited to get started, and just remember to go ahead and watch, link up to everyone else. So Sarah Scraps, Christina from Redefine Creative, Hannah Lemieux, Megan, who is Crafty Maggie, and Beth. So, and Beth is Scrapping Wonders. Make sure to go check all of them out as well and see. This is so much fun. And like I said, this is all about being inspired by art, and I don't know, I'm just really excited to get started. And I'll explain a little bit more about our inspiration in the fast forward. All right, thanks everyone.
So while you watch me do my mixed media, I'm going to use some shimmers and do the stencil, and then I'm also going to do lay down some cork stars and spray them for a starry effect. So while you're watching me do that, because that's pretty self-explanatory, let me explain a little bit more about how we decided what we were going to be inspired by this month. Now, I thought I had explained it when I was doing my intro and realized very much that I had not. So I apologize about that. You're now getting it just now, 3 minutes into the video. But we decided each month together as a group, we decide what we want to be inspired by. Someone normally suggests something, and then we play off of that. And Sarah had suggested, why don't we do art? And we were all just like, yes, we love this idea. And within like a half an hour, we were all throwing up the paintings, and I believe we all chose paintings that we were going to be inspired by to create, and we were all so excited to do this. So I chose to do a Vincent van Gogh. I'm not very museum-y, chic type of person. I don't even know what the word is for it, but I'm not like that. I don't go to museums and stare at paintings or anything like that. But I really like Starry Night, and I figured if I like that painting from him, I probably like other ones too. And I've looked at paintings throughout the years, and there's a lot of really pretty things and whatnot, but when I was searching through Pinterest, trying to decide which, I knew I was going to choose a Van Gogh, but which one I really was going to pick, the one of the Cafe Terrace on, it's called the Cafe Terrace on the Place du Forum, Paris. I believe, I don't know if that's the actual painting's title, but that's what I have on my Pinterest thing. And when I saw that, it just brought this feeling of comfort and happiness to me for some reason. There's something about the cafe that they're sitting at, and everyone's gathered under this beautiful warm light, and you can see the stars in the sky and the cobblestone and the little tree and all of that, and I loved it. It made me feel just happy inside. So I knew that's what I wanted to create, and I'm literally just I broke it all down into 4 sections as I explained in my intro, and I broke it down side by side. So for the cobblestone, I used my stencil and my shimmers gray silver color that I have. For the sky, I literally took stars and sprayed them, and you saw how with the pencil, when I held it there and sprayed it, it made a shooting star, and I loved that happened. That was a fluke accident, but I absolutely love it. And then for the warm glow, I just used my doily and sprayed it. And you, if you watched my Traveler's Notebook blog hop that I did on Tuesday, you would have seen me do something very similar to that. And I am kind of obsessed now with spraying doilies, so I did that with my yellow. And then for the green, I just did the packaging technique. So it was kind of fun. I did different mixed media forms in the 4 different areas. And in the end, I really loved the way that it turned out. My issue is that it was, to me, such a beautiful work of art to myself. I'm not artistic when it comes to stuff like this. I'm artistic when it comes to scrapbooking and stuff like that, but when it comes to painting and mixed media and stuff, I'm still so new to it. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I decided that where I put the doily was the perfect place for journaling, so I made lines there to kind of help myself know that's where my journaling is going to go. And then I just went through my photos and tried to find something I thought was going to work. And I found these 2 photos, and they are of Sean and Jackson just being Sean and Jackson. When Jackson was, this is in September of 2014, so he would have been about 8 months old in these photos. And he would just wait for Sean to get home. He would patiently wait, and it was like he must have internally known when it was time, because he'd go to the window and kind of look out to see if Daddy was here yet and all of that. And then when he would show up, Jackson would patiently, not so patiently, but attempt to wait patiently for Sean to get out of his work clothes and come sit down on the couch so that they could play. And he would crawl up on him, and they would just talk like this and play, and Sean would tickle him, and it was just so sweet and such a fun and just beautiful memory of the 2 of them when he was little. They still are like this too. Him and Sean, I know I've done multiple layouts about their relationship, but it's just one of those things that I'm close to my parents, but nothing the way that this little boy is close to his daddy. So I love it. It warms my heart, and I'm hoping that little Miss Nora will be a little bit more of a mama's girl than a daddy's girl, because I would like some of that too. Jackson uses me for comfort more than for playing. So, but no, I'm so happy they have that relationship. So it's all good. But that's what these photos are. And so I just said, it works. Why don't I use my papers that I have from my June stash kit that I created and just see what I can do. And I was able to use the thickers from the collection of 15 thickers I'm trying to get used up. I was able to use up 2 different thickers there, so that was really helpful. And then I just started playing. I grabbed stickers to see what would go where and all of that, and in the end it just kind of fit in. So really, all that the inspiration piece did to me was help create my background. It didn't help create a story for me or anything like that, because the background doesn't really represent anything. I guess the stars could represent the fact that it's evening time, so Sean's home in the evening. That's possible, but really it was more just to help get me started and create my layout. So for the pieces and the layering of this, I'm using, it was all scraps from my my kit that I created, and you can see I used the yellow. I wanted to bring a little bit more yellow down to the bottom there. I used a little bit of that polka dot. It has pink in it, which is a little offsetting, but I do kind of cover it up so you don't see it that much. And my favorite part is I used up that frame. So I've had this frame. That was probably the oldest thing in my entire collection of scrapbooking supplies, and it's finally used up on a layout. I'm so happy about that. So I just use it as just a little thing there, just something there, and you can see it, but it's not like, hey, there's a frame there. So I liked that as well. And then I add a little bit down by the journaling, so there's a little bit more of a presence to my journaling, and I like that as well. It's pretty neat. And then I got stuck and I didn't know how to finish off my layout. So I'm not sure that I actually recorded the finishing process because there's a few things that were missing. But what's going to happen is I'm going to come back live with you to share with you everything else that I added, because I added a few more pieces afterwards. I thought I was happy with it and was going to go with it, and I just wasn't. And I thought it needed a little bit more. So I do end up adding a few extra pieces. And I really feel like the few extra pieces tied everything in and made it all work. So I'll come back live and you can see how the finished layout looks. Okay, so let me show you what I ended up doing. So the first thing that I think I added off camera was this little white banner, so I could put the date here and have a home for my yellow arrow so that it didn't get lost within the yellow doily. So I did that and added the love that you saw on camera. I also then, for this cluster, added a frame for just kind of a pop of color. Again, it brought kind of in the yellow and the kind of in the gray from the bricks down there and all of that. So it's got two frames now, and I like that, kind of pops up, and I liked that dimension. The two little leaves for a pop of green to kind of take in that, and so that this big green daddies isn't kind of, you know, mistakenly out of place. Another little pop of yellow for the month, which was September. And then I added these two little guys, which I love. Okay, so these are from the Wonder collection. Oh no, this is the baby boy collection from Crate Paper. Now, I've had this for a long time. I actually had no idea how I was going to use this, but I love it because it's kind of like, this is Daddy and this is Jackson. So that turned out really neat, and I kind of love that. It's playful and it makes it very much more of like a little boy layout versus something a little more artistic. So I like that. And then I added the So Sweet here, a little piece of the doily that I sprayed. I put that here, and a little camera piece that and heart that I had in my stash. So just kind of wrapped it up. It did my visual triangle that I do so very often. But I'm so much happier with these added little touches. So thanks so much for watching. Be sure to go check out everyone else's takes on how they were inspired by art, and we will be back next month with another episode. Bye everyone.